Here's a memorable moment from the Adam Carolla Show's Ace Awards archives.
You wonder if I break, how much more of this I can take, but the proof is in my touch and the strength in both of us. I will never lose my faith, no matter where that road may take us. Always know that you're safe with me. I'm still here, I'll never go.
The 2025 Ace Awards, coming this December. Now back to the Adam Carolla Show.
That was Tia Carrere, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
So you know, when she was in studio. All right, you got some news?
I do. First up, CNN anchor Jake Tapper called out left-wing podcaster took a patronizing tone when he shared that his 15-year-old son wants to be a cop. Here he explains.
And on a left-leaning podcast that shall remain nameless, and we were talking about my kids, because I think they were both people without kids. And they asked me about my son, and I said he was, he's a football player, and he wants to be a policeman. And their joke was about my 15-year-old son, oh, how does he feel about minorities? Like the idea that he wants to be a policeman, therefore he's racist, my son. And that was the big laugh, and then I got dragged in the comments and all that stuff. And I thought to myself, this is why you fuckers are losing elections.
100%.
Yeah. Well, also, when you're just your average white band young man and you don't care, you don't care. But then at some point you have kids and you start paying taxes and mortgages and fees and dealing with the city and stuff like that, and you start changing the way you look at politics,
I can see that, yeah.
You have a kid and you find out your kid didn't get accepted into UCLA because he's white, and then all of a sudden you go, well, whose idea was that? And it's like, well, that's your side's idea. Or your 15-year-old's getting called a racist because he wants to be a cop. Whose idea is that? Well, that's your side's idea. And you go, or you got some young girl and she's using the bathroom in her high school and the dude comes walking in. Whose idea was that? That was your side's idea. Then at a certain point you go, maybe my side has horrible ideas. Now, when you're gay and you're single and you're 25 and you live in a rent-controlled apartment in Santa Monica, you don't have any of these thoughts.
Based Tapper? Red-pilled Tapper?
Red-pilled
Suddenly.
Tapper. Yes.
Yeah.
He's also, listen, he's basically, his plea to America is either I'm the shittiest journalist in the world, or I was lying on behalf of President Biden. Those are the only two we can accept. This notion, I was looking back at it. When I went on Bill Maher's show, it's now been over 3 years. And I said, famously, not because it's famous, just because I've said it a few times, is Biden going to run for a second term? And I said, run, he can't walk. He's not running. And people thought it was a joke. Now, that was 3 years ago. I didn't come up with that thought on the way to Bill Maher's studio. I'd been talking about a year before that. So if folks can just sit around and stare at their phone and come to the conclusion that this guy is having difficulties in the faculties department, then why can't journalists come up with this notion? Why did everyone know?
Let me ask you this.
It's the same COVID argument. We didn't know. We didn't know? How come all the other doctors that you blackballed knew?
Yeah.
Well, how did they know? We didn't know if you could walk on the beach. You didn't? I did. Dr. Drew did. Jay Bhattacharya did. All the guys you blacklisted did. The Great Barrington Declaration doctors did. Well, how did they know? So don't give me the we didn't know. It's stupid or liar. It's textbook stupid or liar. Jake Tapper is either lying or he's insanely stupid, and I don't think he's stupid. He's lying on behalf of his team. Ugh, Jesus Christ. The idea that he tried to peddle this shit is insane. Yeah. And also, we don't need to listen to him anymore because we already know he's corrupted. There you go. Sorry, man.
No, it's fine. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Next up, Barry Diller, the former CEO of Paramount Pictures, says Popeye with Robin Williams was the most coked up film set ever. Apparently, they never went to the set of The Hammer.
Yeah, Book of Sugar. Oh man, that Bolivian shale. We wouldn't even hit Crafty until we had a few rails of Bolivian shale.
Doing rails up.
I would argue maybe, but could it be more coked up than Showgirls?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Because everything in Showgirls, I was like, everyone's got to be high on coke. You would never do this scene unless you're beaked out of your fucking brain.
It was the 90s. I think crack had taken over by that time.
Maybe the Al Pacino great Cruising. Hips or lips.
Yeah, that certainly seems like a cocaine crazy set.
Yeah, so Robin was doing a lot of coke.
Yeah, I think that we got kind of a display for the audience here.
Shelley Duvall does not look like a typical coke addict, but she weighs as much as a typical coke addict, right?
She's waif thin.
Yes, here we go.
What am I? I'm Popeye, the sailor. And I am what I am, what I am, and I am what I am, and that's all that I am, 'cause I am what I am. You got it? I think so, yeah. And I've got a lot of muscle, and I only got one eye, and I never hurt nobody, and I'll never tell a lie. Top to my bottom, from the bottom to my top. That's the way it is.
So,
The day that I drop, what am I?
was this a musical? I guess
It was, yeah. It was a musical. It famously kind of flopped at the box office and became a cult classic, sort of. It's definitely has a cocaine influence if you look right here.
Yeah.
The clenched teeth give it away, really.
Yeah. This punching guy looks like you. All right. This is weird. I would have gone, do we need a... It's like when they did... I wish I was in the room when somebody said, we need to do Land of the Lost, the feature. I would have went, you want to take the shittiest part of my childhood, the worst piece of art that's ever been created, and just make it into $100 million full-length feature? Yeah. Okay, cool. Why don't we make AIDS the musical? Like, what are we doing here?
It's a strong IP. There's a lot of fans.
I know. People have heard. Let me explain. Here's how it would work. Land of the Lost. There's two groups of, I won't even say Americans. I'll say you can take the entire globe and you can break it off into two groups, and only two. There are the people who never heard of Land of the Lost, and then the people who've heard of Land of the Lost and hated it. So if those are the only two groups, people, then maybe the IP doesn't mean as much. Do you know what I'm saying? Popeye sucked. I mean,
yeah, it did, yeah.
Harry Nilsson did the music for Popeye. Harry Nilsson did Cats in the Cradle, or is that Harry Potter? Chapin. Harry Nilsson. But did Harry Nilsson we got in the car, drove the taxi and getting stoned?
I thought he just did TV ratings.
Nilsson
did everybody's talking.
He wrote that song for
Urban Cowboy?
Midnight Cowboy, but that was Glenn
Miller.
No. Jesus. We're getting old.
Glenn Ross.
No. Glenn Campbell.
Yes.
That was a Glenn Campbell song. Who did the Taxi Stoner song? Because that's, you guys don't know, but you'll know it, Dawes. That's the greatest song of all time. Anyway,
I'm moving to Alaska to write AIDS the musical.
Oh, man. You better destroy this tape because these are all my ideas. All right. What else you got?
What else we got? Brazilian nun goes viral for beatboxing on TV, and everyone's comparing it to Sister Act. Check it out.
Vocação, oh, vocação, oh, vocação, oh, vocação, oh. Rapaz, que é isso? Gente, é um show de talentos aqui.
All right, I don't like folks identifying with other folks or like reaching out. Like every once in a while, I didn't even like. Remember in high school, once in a while there'd be the cool counselor, and the cool counselor, you could tell he's a cool guy because before he sat down, he'd whip the chair around backwards. The folding chair and sit on it backwards. That meant he was the cool counselor because he doesn't sit on a chair
Relatable.
facing the right direction. I don't know what happened to sitting on folding chairs backwards. I don't know why that was more comfortable. It was you going, I'm cool. Like I'm the cool. I'm not the uptight 3-piece suit with the pomade and the hair counselor. I'm the cool counselor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then there's the cool cop, there's the cool mayor,
It seems
there's the cool
disingenuous
clergy.
to be-
I don't like it. I want the Pope to be the Pope. I don't want him to be the cool Pope. I don't want cool Santa Claus. I don't want cool clergy. I don't want anything. I just want that dude.
Authority figure.
Just wear the uniform. That's who you are. That's the job. Same as it was in the 50s. I don't want you relating or identifying with. I don't want you coming down and meeting them on their level. I don't like when you use the language. I don't like when older people use the young vernacular. I don't like any of it. I want old school. That's who you are.
Super skibbity.
Super skibbity. That's what I want.
That beat was an earworm. I think I've recognized it. I believe it's Milli Vanilli, Girl, You Know It's True.
I heard that song. That song came on the other day on like the 80s channel, and it was so bad.
Because I'm in love with you,
Girl, because I'm in love with you. Chew. It's you. It's not chew. I'm in love with you, girl. Dun, 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 dun. It's like it was so bad, and it also was like, did you need somebody to do that song for you? Because I feel like any 14-year-old who was in music class at any junior high could do, I'm in love with you, girl. It's so synthesized and electricized and filtered through. It's like, why couldn't Milli Vanilli sing that?
I mean,
there was no
guys,
singing.
Yeah, but the guys who really did it must have been super ugly, right? Because it was a pop hit. Why couldn't the guys who wrote the song just released it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why you guys didn't get caught up in Milli Vanilli fever, though.
Well, listen, you're too young, but like CNC Music Factory, now that was a hottie. I get it. She was a model, and she looked hot.
Yeah.
And then they had some tons of fun
I mean,
behind
that
her.
sister was
singing that.
huge.
Whoever sung it was a big gal, but the chick on camera was hot. I
Later-
get what they're doing there. Milli Vanilli, I don't know why they needed to do that.
Later on, they acquiesced to the woke mob and had her out there on tour.
Oh, they
The
did?
big lady.
Oh,
Yes. Yeah, I remember.
All right. I'm in love with you, girl. I'm in love with you, girl. You know it's true.
Ooh, I love you.
It's just God. The idea that my mind has been corrupted with so much fucking horrible art.
But in the 80s, you didn't like say, "Oh, this is all right song," and leave
I
it
was
on.
living. You got to find out what year that must have been.
84.
No,
6
or 8.
All right.
It was later. It was like 88, even
early 90s.
88. Yeah, I was living in North Hollywood with my girlfriend. 1-bedroom apartment, crazy place. It was that was the place where I had my crazy fight story in that apartment, and my girlfriend brought home the Milli Vanilli album and made me listen to it over. It was a CD.
Okay.
And we had to listen to it over and over again. It must have been 88 going into 89 or 88. Yeah.
They were active 88 to 90.
Yeah, I wouldn't have known. I just knew where I was living at the time. And then that was the...
I was young. Thought it was like cool pop dance music, and it was a big scandal when they started bulldozing over their CDs.
Well, I guess my girlfriend was from England, so I don't know. Maybe she didn't know about music. I don't know, but she brought home Milli Vanilli, and I had to listen to the crap, because when you're poor and somebody spends $13 for a CD,
Big investment.
You're listening. Believe you me, you're listening. We didn't have anything else.
Yeah, being younger, it was like it was all around me. Like it was on the radio and was like a thing. You have no say in what you take into your head. So Milli Vanilli was a mainstay on the radio, riding around with my mom.
That was the apartment You're going to love this story, Mayhem.
Yeah.
I got in this huge battle in front of somebody's house.
We talk a fist fight?
Yeah,
All right.
like some years earlier. I'm trying to think. I was in that other apartment, 88, 85. Had to be at least 3 years earlier.
All right.
And I got into this big, epic battle with all these dudes in the street in front of some woman's house who accused me of hitting her. It was a long story, but the one guy, like Dad, there was the tough Mexican guy, sort of stocky Mexican guy. Then there was the black kung fu guy. And then there's like the white guy with the baseball bat that I didn't know about at the time. And then even a fourth guy. I don't remember what the fourth guy was doing. But the Mexican guy, he was hell-bent on fighting with me. I was alone. So then I told him I had stitches in my knee from getting arthroscopic surgery. And then he just goes, I'm going to break your other knee, bro. I remember that. And I was
Pretty
like,
badass
that's pretty
tack.
good. That's pretty
Yeah.
good. I said, well, that's good. So then I said, all right, okay. But it's just me and you. Like your buddies, they got to stay out of this.
Yeah.
And they were, he was like, yeah, it's just me and you. I said, all right. And we went down and stood in the middle of the street. And I just kicked the shit out of this guy. And then his friend hit me with a baseball bat. And then this other friend broke a bottle over me. And it turned into a whole shit show. And then I ended up fighting the black kung fu guy later on.
Final boss.
And we had a full karate match in the middle of the fucking street that went onto people's lawns and shit. And that guy was skilled, and the Mexican guy wasn't skilled. But the black karate guy kind of had hands, and legs. and that thing broke out. But then anyway, the cop showed up, and it all broke up. And then must have been 3 or 4 years later, I was standing in front of that Milli Vanilli apartment building trying to sell my pickup truck to some dude in the Recycler newspaper. I was just sitting out front, like, I'll meet you out front of the building, show up at noon. And a moving van pulled up. And it was a moving van because a new family was moving into the apartment building. And out from the moving van comes a big, stocky Mexican dude. and I look at them, they're like unloading. And I'm waiting for the dude to pick my truck up. So I go, oh, hey, welcome to the building, new neighbors. And the guy's like, okay. And at some point he walked by in his real Mexican way. He goes, I know you. And I go, oh, what do you do? Play some Pop Warner football or something like that? And he goes, oh, no, I know you. And I was like, where do you know me from? Did you grow up out here in the valley? Did you play sports? You go to North Hollywood High? And he's like, no, we fought. and I was like, oh, you're that guy. That's
Welcome
you.
to the neighborhood.
Welcome
Here's
to
the
the
cake.
neighborhood. Now I'm standing out there wearing flowered shorts
Relaxing.
and a tank top with my skinny arms hanging down. But I'm like, this dude ain't never fucking with me. Because I beat his ass already, and I beat his friend's ass. And then he broke a bottle over me and hit me with a bat, and all it did was piss me off. So I go, that dude's never going to fuck with me because he thinks I'm a fucking maniac. And he never said a word. He just went
wait
right
till he
to-
talks to the HOA. You're out of here.
What HOA? Turn that Milli Vanilli down, bro. I got Jose Feliciano up here. Ugh. Yeah, then I'd stand. That's what I should do with my spare time. Stand in a driveway and wait for fucking people to pay me $1,200 for a Nissan pickup truck. That'd
I
be
thought
a
you
whole
were going to tell
weekend.
me that Kung Fu Man picked up that truck.
Kung Fu Man never got the truck, never found out what Kung Fu Man. Terry, the guy hit me with the bat. Oh, he was found. He was found. He was found by my friend Ray. He had a bounty and he was found. So that guy got found. And then that guy turned out to be a private pilot. And we tracked him down. He called my radio show.
Wow.
He didn't want to relive the part where he came up behind me with a baseball bat and went at my knee.
Ooh.
The one, remember I
He
said
hit ya?
Oh, yeah.
On the knee with
He
the
hit
bat.
Full swing.
Oh, my goodness.
But he got my good knee. And he got behind the knee.
Yeah.
And he got above the knee about 8 inches. So it was
minor.
really just the meaty part
Thigh.
of the thigh
Yeah.
from behind. He had to come up from behind because he came up from behind.
Damages are minor.
Nope. Zero. I mean,
Insignificant.
like a red bat
little
mark.
bruise.
Red bat mark. That was all. Bottle busted on shoulder?
Yeah.
No mark.
Yeah, that makes
Shattered.
sense. Yeah.
Thrown? Shattered. Nothing. No glass in the eye. No cut on the face.
Human body's amazing.
No, it's nuts.
Yeah.
Or it can go south, But
I mean, look, no stitches. Really, you got out of that scot-free. I mean, jumping like that. I mean, it sounds like you took some damage.
I got a busted up lip, and that's all I got out of this.
I've been in many fisticuffs and sort of jumping situations. Came out unscathed. You got to bless your lucky stars for that.
I learned a valuable lesson, which is telling your group of thugs with bottles and bats to stay out of it only works if that guy wins.
Exactly right. Yeah, I was going to tell you, it never ends. Like this gentleman's agreement to fight mano a mano right in the street only works out if you lose.
I thought we had an agreement, but the problem was I was beating this guy so bad that his friends
Listen, I've been in that situation multiple times. Yeah.
Yeah. But I ended up being fine, and he ended up moving in, and the other guy ended up being a pilot. And I don't know what happened to the brother. I think the pilot guy said he probably went to jail or something like that.
Oh, damn.
It was crazy. But, look, we didn't have video games. We didn't have whatever fun you guys have. We had to kind of get out and rustle up fun, We had to find fun, or at least activities or challenges or something like that. But, yes, 1988, my girlfriend Lindsay came back with Milli Vanilli. And
you're a carpenter still, and you're attempting to break into comedy.
I wasn't even near comedy.
Oh.
I mean, no, I was a carpenter, and I was probably
not yet Groundlings, because I was watching Pee-wee documentary, and the guy went to Groundlings so much I didn't realize that was such a huge part of his story.
I was at the Groundlings in '88. I was probably about to be asked to leave the Groundlings. And it was probably a few months later where the Groundlings went, "You've come to the end of the line with us."
Really?
Yeah. Well, they didn't say that. They said, "You're not going from Advanced into the Sunday Company. You may come back in a year or a year and a half or something and take Advanced again, and then maybe make it into the Sunday Company, or maybe not." And then I was like, first off, when you're 27, 24, what was I, 24, when you're young and someone goes, "Come back in a year and a half," you're like, what?
Yeah.
I mean,
so long.
That's so long. So I knew they didn't say come back in a year and a half. They just go take Advanced again and then try to do this again, and then we'll vote again, and then maybe you will or maybe you won't get into the Sunday Company. But for me, I knew that meant it was going to have to wait a long time before the next class, and then they'd vote again, and who's to say I'd make it after they voted again? And I just went, I'm moving on, and I went to the Acme Theater, which had just formed, and the Acme Theater didn't exist. It was like they put an ad out. My girlfriend.
Yeah. So you're at the genesis of
this
this company, and then you guys began to make shows.
My girlfriend, the same girlfriend, the Milli Vanilli girlfriend, found an ad in the back of the drama log, just going like, "Hey, starting a troupe. You a Groundling reject? Come join us." So I just showed up there.
Like, make your own opportunities all the time. This is very inspiring, Ace. I got to tell you.
I built the first, then I built us a theater at some point, and then I had a place to go, and they couldn't kick me out.
I didn't understand that story. I'm glad that I finally heard it, like, firsthand. Because I heard this, but I didn't realize that, okay, there was just an ad, and so you were part of this beginning of something.
Yeah, I didn't even, like I said, my girlfriend found the ad.
Yeah.
Then just put it in the back of the drama log or the Hollywood Reporter or whatever, like forming group, call this, the guy's home number. Called Mark Sweeney up, said, we're meeting out on Thursday night or whatever. Huh. Yeah. So, I was rejected by the Groundling. I went all the way through the program.
Yeah.
I just never became a Groundling. So
that seems like a political issue. Like, from what I've heard, grumblings around that place is like a strange political decision that gets made amongst the top of the fairies.
I I was, I probably had 15, 16 people in my advanced class, and maybe 5 of them made the Sunday company or something. And when you didn't make it, it was pretty devastating because it was like 5 years of work.
Yeah.
And then it's all gone.
Wow.
It would be like you going all the way through the whatever Naval Academy or something, and in your 5th year, they go, you're not getting on a boat. You go back to Indiana. So I was pretty low at that point and pretty dejected. And also, I didn't have any illusions. Like, I wasn't like, I'm the best. And they know it. I'm like, well, I guess you ain't the best. You are not the best.
But you kind of bootstrapped yourself right there and kept in the game until a Hollywood career worked out for you, didn't you?
Well, evidently I did, because we're sitting in my building talking to my microphones.